Good morning, everybody. So we're going to take another look at NAUTIS today, and I thought we'd do a couple of manoeuvring, maybe a couple of introduction courses, and see what we can get on with. I haven't done any of these, so I'll be taking them on the fly. This will be a first look at them, and hopefully by doing it that way we can highlight how well the tutorial guides you and how easy it is to pick up and learn for new players, let's say. I have some comprehension and understanding of sailing on the whole, but certainly by no means am I an expert. Having said that, this is looking to be very realistic, a simulator, which is quite exciting because for fans of sailing or ship simulation, there is not really very much out there to sort of entertain us. So I'm kind of excited about this. It's a bit chilly today, so I've got the hoodie on. Not exactly captain attire, but yeah, it is pretty flipping cold in here. So until it warms up, I'm going to keep this hoodie on. You'll notice that the loading times are quite long. Two things I can mention about that. One, it is loading an awful lot of data in. Secondly, it's running on a really, really old hard drive. It's not an SSD or even a particularly fast hard drive. It's something I need to update on my system. But in amongst a million other things I've had to fix recently, it just hasn't. I haven't quite had the time or the money to do it. So hopefully, when I do swap it out for an SSD, we'll be able to load up much faster than we currently are. Having said that, it is quite a long loading time. Also, if you haven't seen my video prior to this one, this triple screen configuration that I'm running is not actually supported by the game. So I've had to force it into this position. But what they have done since I last played was introduce the ability to export charts and scanners and information, which is great because it means I can put it on my main screen here and it just feels incredibly more realistic. Right, let's have a look-see here. Move the controls and watch how the ship reacts. Remember that ships are heavy, so it takes a while before you notice an effect. So we're in the Zonadale, and it's an inland oil tanker, 3,680 tons. That's not very much. And okay. So let me just change my layout to custom layout 1. And you can see it instantly drops to my lower screen, which is lovely. And I'm noticing, okay, so what does it want me to do? It just wants me to explore. Do I have 2 engines? No, I just have the 1 engine on this system. So we'll go maximum throttle. We'll turn the wheel hard to port. I actually seem to be reversing, which is a little odd. That is a smidge unexpected, I'll be honest. Let's go outside and see what the hell we're doing here. So we've got a nice big area to explore in, but why are we going backwards? Wonder if it's because I was reversing accidentally earlier. We also have thrusters, which I can now thrust super hard to one side. Let's zoom in a little bit. You see at the front there, the thrusters are now pushing the front of the boat out this way, to the left or to the port side. That's pretty cool. Centralize that. And then turn the wheel. Yeah, that's really pulling to the right. It's really turning hard to the starboard side. I can't quite understand why. Put those front thrusters back on and make sure we're heading in the direction we actually want. So whilst this tutorial is technically a tutorial, it very much feels like there's no guidance, there's no target, there's no information. Right, so we're 100% flat out going forwards, 358 RPM, and we're travelling at 0.5, we're travelling at 5 knots now. So if I turn the wheel hard to port, the boat turns hard to starboard, which is not what I was expecting. So we'll turn hard to starboard and see if we turn to port. Yeah, so it's actually the opposite way round to what I was expecting. Now, I'm going to need someone either from the dev team or someone who's sailed in a ship like this to explain to me whether that's correct or a bug, because I don't know enough to know if that's accurate or not. But certainly if I turn hard to starboard, the bow is turning hard to port, as you can see, which is not what I was expecting. Very cool though, sailing this large tanker. What if I can turn around? Should we try? So if I put thrusters, the bow thrusters on, and I turn hard to starboard, that should swing us round quite quickly. And you can see there we're definitely doing a handbrake turn, technically, or the SeaWorld equivalent of. So okay, I've learned something new there. It behaves the opposite way to what I was expecting. I guess because the handle's at the bottom, it kind of makes sense. But because I'm using a wheel, it doesn't really work for me. So maybe I need to find a way of... I don't know where I'm going to find a controller that matches that setup, to be honest, but... Okay, so we've learned something. We've learned quite a bit about this ship, at least. It's kind of cool. Let's bring the throttle back down to 0. Thrusters are off. And jobs are good. Alright, I like. So we can quit out of this now, I think. So we go to stop. So yeah, that was a little unexpected. Curious to hear your thoughts on that. I think it must be correct. But the thing is, nobody's going to have a controller like that. Just trying to think, how could I recreate that? I guess if I had a an aeroplane throttle quadrant, I could turn it on its side, and that would give me a controller similar to that. But that's quite an awkward ask. I can't think of another way of doing it, really. So, okay, that's a lesson learned. Has the game just crashed? I think the game's just crashed. Or maybe exits out completely. Okay. I'll load it up again. Certainly there is quite a long loading time. Oh, that loaded a lot quicker this time. But now I've got to do my little shimmy trick to get it on triple screens. Right, there we go. So we did the controls, reading the instruments. Start that. Turn the ship around and keep your eye on the instruments. What do they tell you about the movement of the ship relative to the water and the ground? We're in the Zonadale, again, 3,600 tanker, so it wants us to turn rather than rotate. So once again, we'll go to loadout 1. It's a shame it doesn't automatically load loadout 1, but I can understand why. So yeah, this is a bit more fun. We've got some waves, we got a bit of turbulence and stuff going on. I'm just going to go full left bow thruster. No throttle, no steering. And we'll just see how well this turns in these weather conditions. So I can see that we got 16 meters below the bow on the Echo Sounder. Currently facing east, so we're going to turn until we get to west. Again, it's not a guided tutorial, so you're kind of on your own a little bit. Kind of cool though. Looks like out on the bow. That's what it looks like out on the stern. Starboard side, port side, back inside. Okay. So I'm really loving the sort of the animated elements of the waves on the ship. See, we're definitely bobbing and wobbling about a little bit there. Bit of lean going on. Bit of roll, I should say. Look at that. I'm really looking forward to trying this out. Now this is where we should get maximum roll because we're side on to the waves. So you would expect the roll to increase unless we've got some sort of stabilizer. It should be sort of, I think, maybe going up to 2, there we go, 2 degree roll. 2 degree roll. I think we might even hit 3 degrees. Do you know what? It's realistic enough to make me feel ever so slightly nauseous, which I think is probably the best compliment I can give this simulator. It's realistic enough to make me feel ill. Yeah, look at that. So all we're doing is using the bow thrusters to turn. This is awesome. Really is very, very cool. Feels very realistic and very authentic. The roll seems to have settled down again now, 1 degree. Which is a big heavy ship, these waves aren't really strong enough to make a big impact. But you can change the weather conditions quite a lot, so I'm happy to do that. As we progress, I just wanted to go through these sort of initial tutorials today and try it out and let you guys see what kind of things you can get your teeth on in this game. I think you've got to agree, it's looking pretty amazing. And the controller binding seems to be working really well. I'm just using this really old Thrustmaster Ferrari style. No force feedback, just bungee cords. Perfect for ship simulation, I find. Alright, we've nearly done a full turn. Oh, I've actually got the throttles on. Oh, I have now. So we'll turn. I know, we have to turn the opposite way, I remember. Bring the thrusters back to neutral. Done a full 180. We're ready to head off in this direction. Just trying to get the bow of the ship to stay still. Bit of practice required there. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. It feels really authentic. I've got to say the triple screens definitely help a lot. It's giving me that immersion feeling. I like it. That was good. Right. Let's try and go. If I go restart, is it just going to load the same thing? I don't know. Let's try it. So it just loads it again. Okay, so I do need to hit stop then. Ah, there we go. So last time it must have just crashed. Right, using the chart takes 10 minutes. So we'll do each of these in this video, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff to do after this. So I'll just keep uploading content so you guys can get a really good look and see what NAUTIS Home has to offer. Remember, it's early access. It's not meant to be running in triple screen, so everything I'm doing here is really pushing the limits of the game in its current state. Right, looks like we're repositioning this vessel. My score is 0, passing score is 10. I've got to sail to the harbour. Use the chart to orientate and plan your next move. Sail into the first harbour west from your position. Look at the chart to find it and avoid shallow water. So we're going to be sailing in the Leocadia cargo coaster, 3,500 tons. But it doesn't really tell me on the chart what represents shallow water, what represents deep water. So I'm guessing shallow water is white. So we've got to stay away from the white. Oh. Now, we may have a different engine configuration here. Certainly my layout has changed. Right, so we're actually reversing, which is really bad because I think we're quite close to shore, right? Okay, it's not too bad. But let's start heading forwards. Take a quick look at our surrounding situation. Yeah, we don't want to go too much further backwards. We're going to have some serious problems if we do. Look at that castle over there. Right, so just got to get my charts sorted out because they've all gone a bit wonky. Okay, that's the bow, that's the stern, we're moving away from shore, starboard side, port side. Okay, so it looks like we've got the upside down controller again, so I'm guessing turning to the this one seems to be behaving differently, so I think turning right is going to help me turn right. Let's zoom in on this chart a little bit. Let's find out. Let's turn fully to starboard and see which way we turn. Yep, okay, it is reversed. Alright, here we go. Now it looks like we got some rocks out there. I'm assuming we need to come inside of those. I can't quite see. I'm wondering if that castle is the small island here, or whether it's this island here. Not entirely sure. Still, we're in 3.7 meters of water in this light blue stuff, so I've got to be a little bit careful. And I see some green and red buoys right next to me. I'm assuming I'm coming in there. Yeah, it's quite deceptive. I think we are. And I can't see the harbour actually, which is a bit worrying. Like on the chart, I can't see the harbour. There are binoculars, or a binocular setting, but I'll be honest with you, I can't remember what button I've bound to that. So, right, so we're at 7 meters depth at the moment. Just try and slow that turn down and see if we can identify where the next green buoy is. I can see the harbour, I guess. Travelling at 8.5 knots. There's a white flashing thing in front of me. I'm not sure if I'm meant to be heading over there or down here on the right. Again, as a tutorial, you're pretty much unguided. I can see green and red buoys in front of me, and instinctively I feel like that's where I should go. But part of me feels like that's not where the game wanted me to go. I genuinely don't know where I'm supposed to be going. It's not clear to me. Right, let's kill the engine. Take stock of the situation. Is it over there then? I feel like it might be that jetty over there, right? Or into that harbour over there. Oh, I see. Right, I'm heading towards the shallows, which I don't want to do, so I'm going to turn hard to starboard. In fact, I'm going to put maximum starboard thrusters on. not sure if they're port thrusters or stern thrusters. Either way, we're turning very sharply. Back into neutral. Get the engines going. Okay. Still got 10 meters of clearance. We're inside of this green buoy on the left. So I'd say, as feedback for the devs, that for a beginner, there's not enough information about what I'm expected to do. You know, where I'm supposed to go to exactly, where I'm supposed to stop, what sort of speeds I'm meant to be doing as I enter. I think there's a lot more information they could provide. I guess by trial and error we'll figure it out. But for absolute beginners, I think that's not going to be enough information. I love that castle. Kind of feel like we're up in Scotland somewhere. So am I meant to like go in and park or just go in? What do you reckon? Am I meant to get myself up against the side there or? Drop to 50% power, drop those RPMs. I've no idea how difficult it is to stop this. Let's go to neutral and just keep an eye on those knots because we're still doing 9.4, 9.3. It must be quite deep there. Well, I don't know actually. 7.2 meters it's saying. I wonder if I'm meant to come in and sort of turn around or turn around on the way out. Difficult to know, isn't it? Still doing 6.8 knots. May give us 25% reverse. Doing 5 knots now. Let's go 50% reverse. Get our speed right down. Oh, there we go. That was it. I didn't have to do the difficult parking part. Cool. I got 10 out of 10. Okay, so I was overthinking that too much. Using the radar. So this will be our last bit for today's video. I still feel that's the perfect opportunity to give some information about, you know, different buoy colours, or I think they're called markers of some sort, aren't they? Right. So once again, we've got to sail to the harbour. Use the radar when visibility is limited. Oh my god! Holy cow. Okay, this is kind of scary. We're in the Dogger Bank. Roll on, roll off ferry. 28,500 tons. Use the radar when visibility is limited. Try if you can to steer the vessel into the harbour even when you can't see it. What? Okay. Right, so everything is at neutral. Where's the bloody harbour though? On the chart. See, I would still use the chart. Holy cow. Would you look at this? This is what I'm talking about. This is what a simulator is. Difficult simulated environments. Yes, I love it. Right, so the bow, stern. Oh, how have we got throttle on? That was an accident. Starboard, port side. We can't see a damn thing. There's hardly any point looking out. I don't see how the radar is going to help me much. Change the radar to 0.5 nautical miles. Okay. Okay, 0.25. We've got a really strong indication of what's around us. So we're getting rid of rain, we're getting rid of sea, so we can just see where we are. Right, so one assumes then we're going to back up. And this must be the port? I don't even know where the harbour is. I'm guessing it's this bit, but how the hell am I supposed to know? Bit more information required, game. Alright, let's back her up. And it looks like we've got a proper steering wheel this time. So I imagine turning left is going to turn us left. Wow, I can just see nothing at all. We'll go maximum right propulsion in the hope that that rotates us quicker. Oh, we've got two engines. And my engines are back to front. I've got to change that. So we come into external controllers. We select the SciTech Pro. And this one needs to be reversed. No, I don't think so. Yes, it does need to be reversed. Okay, that was confusing. So we'll come in here and we'll reverse it. Submit that, and we'll save. Cool. So now we've got a left engine and a right engine. So I've got the left engine in full reverse and the right engine in full forward. Hang on a minute, that's not going to work, is it? We're not driving a tank. They're just going to conflict. So maybe we'll just go left engine full. Maybe that makes more sense. Trial and error. We'll figure it out as we go, I guess. Not convinced I'm turning the way I want to. No, hang on. The rudder has got to be left. We're doing 10 knots in reverse, but we don't seem to be turning. Okay, the engine seemed to be stuck in reverse. I do not know what's going on there. I can't get the engines to turn off. That's a bit worrying. That is a problem. What's going on there? That seems to have fixed it. Put both engines into forward momentum. Okay, we can straighten out. travelling at 10 knots in a completely fogged out situation. Using just the chart and the radar. Tricky. We've also got a current 2.3 knots heading north, so that's going to bring us inshore. And truth be told, I'm not 100% sure where the harbour is, so we could be going completely the wrong way. Once again, the lack of information is a bit of a problem. See, now there's something coming up on the left hand side here. Kind of looks like a man-made structure, but could that be the harbour? I've no idea. Can't see a bloody thing. May as well be in that view. Harbour could be right, could have been right in front of me. No idea. Absolutely no idea. Going to change the radar to head up mode, so the direction we're facing is what's in front of us. I think that's probably the safest way. $10 meters of clearance below us, so no immediate concerns there. We want to turn almost easterly. Come around this small island to our left. And then we'll need to turn hard to a northeasterly direction. Checking the recording was on. Bow thrusters are on. Should always enter the harbour on a starboard side, so maintain that. 15-metre depth below. Probably a north-northeasterly direction. 12 metres below the front. Going over the grey bit down to 11 metres, 10 metres. Another 10-degree turn here. There we go. On course now. Five-metre clearance. Should, yep, let's jump it up back up to 10 metres, 12 metres. Okay. Turning to starboard at 3 degrees per minute. I just hope this is the harbour. I have no idea. Oh, hang on. I forgot I had bow thrusters on. Right, so we should see something like a harbour wall coming up any moment now. Doing 21 knots. That's a lot. That's Put 20% reverse thrusters on and get that speed down. In fact, let's go 100% and get that speed down. Oh my god, look, there's the harbour wall right next to us. Can you even see it? It's like invisible. We are really close to it, look at that. Definitely going too fast. I'm doing 15 knots here. Coming into the harbour in a ship of this size at 15 knots is probably not the best idea in the world. This must be the harbour though, right? Why hasn't it completed me? Still travelling at 11 knots. I'm not sure this is the right harbour. Five knots. Three knots. Okay, I'm much happier at 3 knots. But I have no idea where I'm supposed to be going. Keep I'm trying to get 5% thrusters, but it's almost impossible. There we go. 5% forward momentum just to keep us moving. I mean, we're in a harbour. We are definitely in a harbour, but the tutorial has not completed, so I'm guessing we're in the wrong harbour. Nothing else that really looks like a harbour. Could it be this bit over here? Could it be this bit over here? How the hell am I supposed to know? Do you think maybe I was meant to go down this way? Maybe into that? Maybe that's the harbour. Maybe that's the harbour. Maybe that's the harbour. I have absolutely no idea where the harbour is. It's silly. Briefing. Use the radar when visibility is limited. Try if you can steer the vessel into the harbour even when you can't see it. Where is the bloody harbour? Clearly this is not the harbour they wanted me to sail into, huh? me see if perhaps... Let's go to the community. Let's search for radar. Ah, okay. Well, for whatever reason, it's just kicked me out of the game. So we'll wrap it up there. But definitely, I think I've highlighted quite clearly that the tutorial is lacking in depth and relevant information. And they need to sort something out in that regard because, you know, there just wasn't enough information there for me to figure out which harbour it wanted me to sail into. You know, give me some charts, give me some PDFs, give me something like that that I can utilise perhaps. But yeah, nevertheless, that was fun. I enjoyed it. Hopefully it's opened your eyes up a little bit more to what the game can do. That's the first time I've used a ship with dual engines. So that was kind of cool to try that out. I'll try and do some research and see if I can figure out what was meant to happen in that particular scenario because, yeah, I'm not quite sure what I was supposed to do. Obviously, what I did do was wrong, but not entirely my fault, I would say. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.